Coming up next on SportsCenter, they're already lining up for the bargains, so don't let anyone steer you wrong. The Cowboys' Cadillac was ready to cruise, but instead they took the Lincoln out of the garage. And in Detroit, their luxury car is now in for repairs. Then the Bears left without a trace. It was evident what the Dogs and the Jackets were doing, and that all wasn't great in Wayne's World as the Nordiques shoved around the Kings. In college football, the Aggies run into Southwest Conference history. We preview Friday's showdowns as the unbeatens try to stay that way. So keep your shirt on. There's plenty of leftovers. No need to rush. There's something for everyone. Have we got a deal for you? Shop around first, compare, and then we'll beat the stuffing out of the competition. SportsCenter's next. And hi again, everyone. Welcome to the program. Thanks for inviting us over. Steve Levy, Craig Kilborn. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. By this time, you should have digested all of that food. The diet starts now, right? Well, the NFL is serious football. We're heading into the stretch drive. The battle for playoff position is on the line, and every game is crucial, so there's no time to be fooling around and acting like warm-weather children who have never seen, felt, tasted, or played in the snow.
You know, the weather outside is frightful, but for the Cowboys and Dolphins, a win would make things, delightful. As Thanksgiving comes and goes, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, especially in Dallas. A winter storm hit Irving, Texas Thursday morning, and a combination ice and snow hit the field at Texas Stadium. The Cowboy combo of Troy and Abbott also hit the field, but on the other side stood the NFL's winningest coach, Don Shula, who thought he had seen it all until the bizarre ending of this game. And yes, it was cold. A rare cold day for Cowboy fans, but they were pleased to see Emmitt Smith back in the lineup. The weather caused problems early. Pete Stoyanovich slips, can't get the field goal. But on the Dolphins' next possession, Keith Byers busts through the line, and he turns it on. Byers keeps his footing and just beats Kevin Smith into the end zone for a 77-yard score, the longest run of his career. Keith, in his winter wonderland, makes a snow angel to celebrate. Isn't that special? Second quarter, rookie Lincoln Coleman gives Emmett a rest, and Coleman makes good. With an 11-yard gain, he gained 36 yards on the drive, setting up a Kevin Williams touchdown. Then, tied at 7. Late in the first half, the rookie from Miami, Kevin Williams, back for the punt. He takes it, and he's got room and speed. 64 yards for the score and the pretty dismount. Olga would like it. 14-7 Cowboys. Dolphins cut the lead to 14-13 late. Stoyanovich warming up with Miami on the move. 39-year-old Steve DeBerg dumps to Byers. A 14-yard gain out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Stoyanovich, 41-yard attempt with the play clock winding down for the win. It's blocked. Jerry Jones celebrates. But on the loose ball, Leon Lett boots it. Jeff left. The officials confer. Lett with his second major blunder. You remember last year's Super Bowl? More on that later in the show. Let's take another look. Lett, for some reason, tries to cover the blocked field goal. Once he touches it, Miami can recover. If he lets it go, the Cowboys win. Doug Peterson clears a spot. Stoyanovich nails the 19-yarder Shula. And the Dolphins escape with a wild Miracle on Ice 16-14 final. Leon Lett was nowhere to be found after the game. He hid in the trainer's room while some teammates got his clothes. The Dolphins improved to 9-2 and move into first place in the AFC East ahead of Buffalo. The Cowboys lose their second straight and fall to 7-4. Coach Jimmy Johnson said, "It's the most disappointing loss I've been around. We had it won." As far as Lett's mistake, Johnson was forgiving, sort of.
It is a mistake, and we all make them, and that's part of this game. There were, hundreds of mistakes made in this particular ball game. It just so happened that that particular one cost us the ball.
This was something special. I can't remember one like this, especially the ending that we had.
My eyes got, as big as saucers when that ball came rolling out of there and he touched it. It was like it's a live ball. So, yeah, we were thrilled that it worked out this way.
Regrouping, all that. We got to win ball games. Period.
Can't be happy about anything right now.
Michael Irvin succinct. What's up with the Cowboys? They're down right now, losing 2 in a row, the same way they started the season. In the middle was a league-high 7 straight wins. The Cowboys try to get back in the W column a week from Monday when they host Philadelphia. Steve.
For the Detroit Lions, this was Turkey Day football game number 54. With all that practice, you'd figure they'd have it down by now, yet they're only a game over 500 on Thanksgiving. This time around, the Lions had a lot to be thankful for. A, that fifth-place schedule. B, which might be a part of a 7-3 record, which not only gives them first place, but a tie for the best record in the conference. And C, as always, Barry Sanders. After their matchup, however, with the Chicago Bears, at least they still have the fifth-place schedule. To the climate-controlled Pontiac Silverdome, the Bears show the defense early. The pass rush, Richard Dent beats Lomas Brown, forces Rodney Peete to fumble. Trace Armstrong recovers. 3-3, second quarter. Armstrong taps the ball out of Pete's hands. The Bears recover. One play later, Jim Harbaugh looking for his first win in the state of Michigan since he last beat Ohio State. He's got Terry Obie for 42 yards and the score. Bears up 10-3 at the break. Now, bad news for the Lions here in the third quarter. Barry Sanders suffers a partial tear of the medial collateral ligament of his left knee. He's gone 3 to 5 weeks. It almost got away from Chicago. Punter Chris Gardocki narrowly escapes a safety after the bad snap, able to get it away. Detroit cuts it to 10-6, but they would get no closer. Kevin Minifield causes Brett Perriman to fumble on a crucial third down late, and the Bears able to celebrate with a 10-6 win. So the Bears roar back to a game over 500 with their third straight win. They have their defense to thank for it. The Chicago D recording 5 sacks, forced 4 turnovers. Lions head coach Wayne Font said it was a poor effort. He apologized to the fans on this Thanksgiving Day. So how will the Lions play without Sanders? Well, who really knows? They've only played once without him. Sore ribs kept him out of a game 2 years ago. Easy to see how his absence impacted this game, and not just the rushing numbers either. Craig.
If you search your closet for your favorite old sweatshirt or T-shirt, you can bet it's cotton. And if it's quality, it's 100% cotton. Yeah, there's something special about cotton. For the Longhorns and Aggies, they were thinking about the soft, fuzzy stuff. As they entered Thursday night's game, the winner goes to, you guessed it, the Cotton Bowl. Eyes in Texas were all at Pond College Station. Texas up 3-0 in the second quarter. The kickoff comes to Leland McElroy in the end zone. He goes straight up the middle, heads outside. The kicker misses, and he's gone. 100 yards for the score for Leland. Third kickoff return of the year, ties the NCAA record. Aggies up 7-6. The Longhorns hit hard all night. Redshirt freshman QB Shea Moran scrambles and is leveled by Antonio Shorter. R.C. Slocum feels good. Fourth quarter, Aggies up 15-9. Longhorns driving 4th and 1 from the 3. Moran's picked off by Dennis Allen. Aggies win it 18-9. Texas A&M wins its third straight Southwest Conference title. They go to the Cotton Bowl. The Aggies set a conference record with their 22nd straight league win.
Well, Craig, it has become almost a weekly event now, the game of the year, and there's another one set for Friday. Boston College comes off of one of the all-time great wins, and they are looking for another. Yeah, the Eagles battle the undefeated Mountaineers of West Virginia. The Big East title's on the line, and so is a possible shot at the national championship. Dr. Jerry Punch has a preview.
Over the past 36 years, there have been many key games played here at historic Alumni Stadium, but arguably none have had the impact of Friday's showdown between Boston College and West Virginia.
You want to play your best football in November. You want things to be very, very critical in November, and you couldn't have a bigger game.
We're going into the game, we're going into Boston College expecting to win, knowing that we're going to win. And the same with the bowl picture. Whatever bowl we make it to, we're going in expecting to win.
In this final regular season game, both teams are essentially healthy, with the exception of a couple key players. For Boston College, one of last week's heroes in the win over Notre Dame, senior flanker Ivan Boyd, sprained a knee in practice Tuesday. He's been on crutches and is listed as doubtful for the game. For the Mountaineers, their loss looms even larger, as senior quarterback Jake Kelchner apparently aggravated his injured hamstring in last week's win over Miami and has experienced considerable pain at practice this week.
Unless I think it's going to cause a problem for the team, I mean, unless it's going to be more or less a negative thing, me being in there, than a positive thing, then, I'll say, put Darren in.
While Kelchner will probably start, look for fellow senior quarterback Darren Studstill to contribute early. The fortunes of Boston College rely heavily on the right arm of their record-setting quarterback, Glenn Foley, whose nationally fourth-ranked Eagle offense averages over 508 yards per game.
You want to win this game, you better get off your high in a hurry. You better stay hungry, and we better find a way to keep Foley on the bench, because that's the keys to winning this game.
And you can see this game right here on ESPN Friday at 4. It's the battle for the Big East Conference Championship. Boston College versus undefeated West Virginia Friday on ESPN.
Well, still to come on the program, more highlights from the day and night in college football, including Georgia meeting Georgia Tech, and in between fights, they actually did play some football. We'll show you all of the action.
Plus a tussle in Tulsa, but it turned out to be an easy pin. It's the Cardinals versus the Golden Hurricane. And can Nebraska stay perfect? We'll preview their showdown with Oklahoma. Stay with us. We're back.
What's your AT&T calling card number?
My dog's name.
My shoe size.
Oh, I love it. My calling card number is my daughter's name.
Introducing the new calling card with the easiest to remember number, the AT&T Personal Choice Calling Card. Call now for the only card that lets you choose your own number, including your own PIN. Choose your name, your phone number, anything you want. So even if you forget your card, you'll always remember your number.
My calling card number is my dad's birthday.
And since you're on the move, we've got special savings that can follow you wherever you go. You may qualify to save 15% on your domestic card calls. Ask for details when you call for your card.
I made him put our anniversary on his card so he'll never forget.
Call now for the calling card with the easiest to remember number. Only from AT&T.
When you're 180 with 4.5 speed, the last thing you want is to run into somebody 260 with 4.5 speed. Madden NFL 94 for Sega Genesis and Super NES. 80 teams and bigger, faster players to leave chasing your caboose. If it's in the game, EA Sports. It's in the game.
I was singing my favorite lullaby and dreaming about my next vacation. And there I was, face to face with a notorious gunslinger. I knew if he threw his gun at me, it was gonna hurt. So I had to get out of town fast. Luckily, Dollar was there to save my hide. Yep, they're right on the airport with low rates all over the world. No wonder more folks are hitting the trail with Dollar than ever before. Once again, Dollar was quicker on the draw. And once again, they were right on the airport, right on the money.
And thanks for coming back. More college football, though this one was missing the bowl possibilities. Georgia Tech, however, was not missing the possibility of a brawling rivalry-type contest. And then there was the possibility that this was Bulldog quarterback Eric Zier's last game before, with apologies to Craig, who uses the phrase from time to time, going pro. To the capital of Georgia, know your capitals. That's Atlanta. Bulldog UGA 5 even had a turkey. Fourth quarter, Tech's Donnie Davis back to pass, would be picked off. Return for 6 the other way by Greg Tremble. Georgia up 36-10. It would get ugly late. No, not the dog. The game. Georgia passes on 4th and goal from the 2. Zier to James Werner to make it 43-10. Tech not happy about the pass, not happy about a bunch of things. Zier called it a good old-fashioned brawl, and they did brawl in this one. 43-10, Georgia gets the rout. Zier breaks a pair of Shane Matthews' SEC records, single-season passing and total offense. The junior ongoing pro said he would consider hitting the NFL draft if his chances were considered good to be drafted in the top half of the first round, and chances of that are promising. Craig.
The Louisville Cardinals have accepted an invite to the Liberty Bowl, but before they travel to Memphis, Tennessee, they pay a visit to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Can the Cards weather the Golden Hurricane? Yes, and in a big way. Dallas wasn't the only cold place today. This was Tulsa, Oklahoma. First quarter, Louisville gets a scare. Tulsa's Jeremy Bunch shoves QB Jeff Brom out of bounds, head first into the wall. Brom would leave the game with a strained back and broken index finger on his throwing hand. Early second quarter, backup QB Marty Lowe will be picked off by Dennis Hickey to the 18-yard line. Sets up a 4th and goal. Tulsa goes for it, but is denied. 6-0 Louisville at the half. Fourth quarter, 14-0 Louisville, and Lowe will roll out and hook up with Kevin Cook, who will go the rest of the way. A 57-yard score. Cardinals win it 28-0. Anthony Shellman of Louisville had a touchdown and 126 yards rushing. It's Tulsa's first shutout since losing 14-0 to Memphis State in 1987. Chris Penn, the nation's leading receiver, caught 11 passes for 123 yards.
Well, another of Friday's college football headliners, Nebraska and Oklahoma. The Cornhuskers didn't have much to say this week about the polls or the bowls for that matter. The Sooners, however, did.
Yeah, they're calling it the biggest game of the year, and they believe Nebraska should be the #1 team of the country. Pam Oliver has more on the quiet confidence of Nebraska.
It's the quiet before the storm on the campus of Nebraska University. The heated rivalry between the Huskers and Sooners will take place under icy, cold conditions in Lincoln. Both teams worked out on Thanksgiving Day and enter this classic matchup following bye weeks. Weather could pose problems and make for adjustments.
It may not be real easy just for anybody to go out and run the ball up and down the field, and so we'll just have to see what we can do. And I think the weather may have a little bit of effect on throwing the ball and maybe on your strategy in the ball game.
Nebraska starting quarterback Tommy Frazier is said to be 100% after injuring his shoulder against Colorado in mid-October. But you have to wonder how a collision on frozen AstroTurf might affect the sophomore QB. The Huskers will count on Calvin Jones, the Big Eight's leading rusher, to head their ground assault, which has averaged over 300 yards a game to lead the nation. The 8-2 Sooners are healthy and hungry and plan to rely more on a balanced attack led by Cale Gundy, the Big Eight's top passer.
Our strength is balance. We've got to utilize Cale Gundy. But we got to run the football, so we have to have that balanced attack. I don't think either football team can be one-dimensional. Don't expect to have a great deal of success.
Despite a perfect 10-0 start, Nebraska still lacks respect in some circles. Sure, the Huskers are a lock for the Orange Bowl, but Oklahoma is a team that has spoiled the Huskers' national championship plans on numerous occasions. 4 times the Huskers have entered this game ranked #1, and this occasion marks the 10th time they've entered this contest undefeated. Their most recent disappointment came back in 1987 when Nebraska was both undefeated and standing at #1, only to lose to Oklahoma in Lincoln. Even with all of Tom Osborne's success, his teams have lost 6 straight bowl games and haven't won a national title in 21 years. But Osborne hasn't let history diminish his hopes.
The main thing we have going for us is we realize we at least have a chance. But this will be a really tough game with Oklahoma, and this is probably a 50-50 ball game, and then a lot of things have to break right other places. So we just hope that we're in the hunt on January 1st.
New Year's Day, 1994. So it's #1 in the land versus their #1 rival. And as you can see, having a lead in this series in a particular game, well, hasn't meant a whole lot come the final gun. And playing at Lincoln, well, hasn't meant a whole lot either to the home team. Speaking of rivalries, the Kings and Nordiques, they don't have one, but they can build off the kind of game they played on Thanksgiving, where it wasn't even Thanksgiving.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bench. You know, to really understand baseball, you got to speak the language. Did you get all that? I didn't think so. That's why there's Baseball Weekly from the editors of USA Today. It gives you the lowdown on who's up, and who's on, and who's out in major, minor, and college leagues. Now, each issue is packed with team-by-team reports, box scores, stats for every game, plus tips for fantasy leaguers, collectibles, nostalgia, and letters from the grandstand. And now you can call this number to order 1 full year of Baseball Weekly. That's 44 issues for just $35. You'll also receive this free holiday gift when you purchase a subscription for friends, family, or even for yourself. Sound good? Then call today. Get 1 full year of Baseball Weekly plus your free gift. Now hurry, this offer is limited, so call now before you're called out. Baseball Weekly, it speaks baseball's language.
Pick up the phone for the latest sports news from ESPN all day, every day.
95 cents per minute. Call 1-900-976-ESPN.
Field goals and snow worked out this time around for Don Shula and the Dolphins. Hasn't always been that way. Flashback December of '82, the famous snowplow game. A parolee clears the path in Foxborough. John Smith and the Pats beat Miami 3-0. Snowplows on the field on Thursday. but not to clear any paths, just to look out for the cheerleaders, especially for Pete Stoyanovich. Fourth quarter, 14-13 Cowboys. Stoyanovich, 41-yard attempt block. Flashback, November of '88. The Giants block an eagle attempt, but Philly's Clyde Simmons picks it up and rumbles for the winning score. So as the ball lay idle on this Thanksgiving in Dallas, we recall another infamous blunder. Leon Lett getting burned by Don Beebe. And of course, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl easily. And this time around, instead of letting it be, Lett does it again, sliding in and giving Miami new life. Shula, hey, where's the parolee when I need him? Stoyanovich, the kick makes it good this time. The 19-yard of the Dolphins get the win on this Thanksgiving, 16-14. And while Jimmy Johnson remains dazed and confused, Leon Lett has to be thinking about his Cowboy future. Well, 2 NHL coaches have been replaced. Mind you, not fired, but moved or kicked upstairs. Paul Holmgren in Hartford, and now Ted Green in Edmonton. Green reassigned to the assistant to the president with the Oilers, while the president and general manager is Glenn Sather, who reassigned himself to head coach on an interim basis to go along with his other duties. Borrowing the Chris Myers line, you're not good. That's the Oilers, off to their worst start ever, 3-18-3. You know what? It doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon. Home games coming up against Vancouver, Dallas, and Philly, and then a 5-game road trip east. Craig.
There are no games in the NBA on Thanksgiving and just one in the NHL, and guess who's involved? Wayne Gretzky. He leads the league with 32 assists, 41 points, and is also the leading vote getter for the upcoming NHL All-Star Game. One would think these schedule makers would let the great one have Thanksgiving off, or if he does play, be sure it's a home game. But no, Wayne's world includes working on Thanksgiving and being away from the family. Over 8 minutes gone, first period, Quebec up 1-0. Valery Kamensky on the wing, nice move, scores his 7th goal. Quebec up 2-0. Second period, Joe Sakic shoots, then puts in the rebound, his 10th goal. Quebec up 4-0. Then Tony Granato on the penalty shot. Jocelyn Thibault with the save. 9 penalty shots this year in the NHL, only 3 scores. Then career minor leaguer Rick Knickel in goal for Kelly Rudy. Matt Sundin hustles down ice. Knickel out of the crease. Sundin scores. Shorthanded goal. Quebec up 6-2. Barry Melrose's team would come back. Third period, 7-5 Quebec. Charlie Huddy with the shot deflects off Luc Robitaille's skate. Watch the replay. Robitaille gets his 4th goal of the night. 7-6 Quebec. But under 2 minutes left, Mike Ricci with the empty net goal. Quebec wins 8-6. Gretzky had a goal and 3 assists. Quebec rookie goaltender Thibault criticized the replacement officials after the game. Quote, the referee must have thought it was an atom or pee-wee game. Sub-ref Jim Anderson called 30 minor penalties. Gretzky commented they're doing the best they can. Steve.
Well, switching gears, it can get confusing with a number of teams and their fans and their cheerleaders all chanting that they're number one. A scientific approach coming up.
Of all the credit cards out there, only one has Smart Rate, now as low as 14.9% and no annual fee. Discover Card. It's a better deal. It pays to discover. This holiday season, while you're shopping, we'll be dropping $5 million in the Discover Card Big Payback. Now, every time you use your card, you're automatically entered in our $5 million sweepstakes. It pays to discover the card with the big payback.
Hey, Bob, I'm supposed to be Santa. What happened?
Well, this is all they had, PC. I had no choice.
That's why you should shop at stores with a big selection.
Like CompUSA?
Uh-huh. They offer over 5,000 computer products, so you always get what you want.
All at guaranteed low prices, right?
Verified, Bob. Like the Hewlett-Packard DeskJet 500C printer. Get laser-quality color output for professional-looking documents.
And the Creative Lab Sound Blaster Discovery CD16 with a double-speed CD-ROM drive.
Boy, 5,000 products, guaranteed low prices. What's next, huh?
I don't know. Petting zoo?
This year, you can vote for who gets to play in the Pro Bowl.
And if you luck out, you can score a trip for 2 to see the game in Hawaii.
Or you could win big with prizes from Radio Shack.
But first, you should vote on who gets to play. Remember, your picks count along with players and coaches, so be sure to vote and go.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see you at the game.
Pick up your Pro Bowl vote and go ballot at Radio Shack, NFL stadiums, or in USA Today. Imagine your favorite football players will do anything to get your vote.
Great Alaskan Shootout, Wake Forest, Alaska, Anchorage. Alaska on top by 2, but with 7 seconds left, missed the free throw. Charlie Harrison of Wake Forest for the tie at the buzzer. No. Upset Alaska Anchorage Division II school wins 70-68 over Wake Forest. Jason Kaiser scored 12 points in the final 6 minutes. Friday on ESPN, lots of college hoops, including the NIT final. Steve.
Craig, it is extremely subjective. Some call it the beauty of college football, while others just think it's a mess that nearly rivals boxing's alphabet soup. So just who is #1, and how does whoever that team is get there? Well, as Lee Corso shows us, there's more to it than just winning football games.
Voters have always used November as the month to determine who will be #1 in the nation come January. College football's yearly quest to determine #1 has 5 different teams receiving first-place votes this week.
It's kind of like having 5 people run for president. I mean, it's unusual.
My reason for picking Notre Dame #1 was, first, I gave them an edge over Florida State because they won in a head-to-head matchup, won more convincingly than the score indicated.
I voted Florida State #1 because I believe in God, country, and Bobby Bowden. Seminoles have the best team, the best quarterback.
I voted for Nebraska #1 in the AP poll because they've beaten every team they've played thus far.
Now, how can you not vote for a team at least in the top 3 that's 11-0 that comes out of the Southeastern Conference?
We're in an arena here as sports writers that we really shouldn't be in. We're actually creating the news as opposed to reporting it. In football, we are picking the teams that are going to play for the national championship, and I can't do that.
Is it time for a new system?
It's almost like comparing apples and oranges, so either we ought to vote on records or we ought to come up with a computer model that everyone could agree on before the season starts.
The New York Times has had a computerized poll since 1979. It factors in who you beat, when, and where. The USA Today Sagarin poll is based on a complicated point system created by an MIT grad. A third computer poll published in the Seattle Times looks beyond one-loss records and margin of victory.
We also look at who each team played, what conference they're from, and then we take it one step further. So we look at who the team played and then who that team played. So we take it to a second step.
Computer advocates argue that their system eliminates human bias, but a computer still must be programmed by humans. The window for debate is wide open.
Computers break down all the time. So you go to the airport, it isn't anybody's fault, it's the computer's fault.
But it works well for us. It works wonderfully.
You know, this happens every year. It's just controversy. When I'm faced with this, I just go with whatever Beano Cook says.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. The interesting thing is that the games on Friday and Saturday, if they break the right way, they could answer a lot of our questions. Of course, if they break the other way, then they could open up a bunch more questions, right. Something to look forward to for the new year. So now you'll know all you need to about computers when Craig and I return something you don't know about the roof at Texas Stadium when we come back.
Sir, do you ever spend $70 for a motel room?
Yes, I do.
May I see your wallet, please?
Sure.
Thank you. What are you doing? Throwing your money away. You do.
Don't throw your money away. Hit the roof. Red Roof Inns.
More to the left, Bob.
So in the old days, we thought it was a pretty neat deal back when we offered pillows and blankets. And now we got the interactive videos. You can watch movies. Shop duty free. Play the video games, for heaven's sake.
Are you having fun?
It looks like something that belongs up in the cockpit.
Some people just know how to fly.
It may be too much to handle. It's Mode 7 rig rotation and bone-crushing checks. It's NHL Stanley Cup hockey, part of the Super NES Sports Network, and it's in a league of its own.
Michigan tries to dunk Georgia Tech in the Starter Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic. Then it's the NIT Championship. And finally, chill out at the Great Alaska Shootout semifinal. Watch it only on ESPN.
Well, from the news and notes department, admit it. Yesterday, you ate too much. Also, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Joe Montana might give it a go on Sunday against Buffalo. He worked out with the club on Wednesday. And Jay Schrader has rejoined the Cincinnati Bengals after leaving the club to be with his 6-year-old son, who underwent surgery on a brain tumor, the tumor benign.
Okay, we told you about the Dallas Cowboys' home loss to Miami in a snow-filled Texas stadium. there's something we haven't told you yet.
That's right. Did you know Thursday was the first time it ever snowed during a Cowboy regular season home game at Texas Stadium? That's just one of the many wacky things that happened in this football game. I think Don Shula said it was one of the strangest games he's ever been around. And as we know, Shula has been around for a lot of games.
Jimmy Johnson also didn't like the ending of that game. We're going to show it to you. Leon Lett, strange but true what he did there, kind of reminiscent of the Super Bowl game last year.
He's kind of 1 for 2 now. Only one of the mistakes cost him. The other didn't hurt him that bad. We've got the big game, BC West Virginia, coming up 4 o'clock Eastern here on ESPN.
We're coming right back.